earlier, Jin Air Greenwing's team could not hammer together a strategy to take on his control.
Very true.
Maybe Classic is going to do that to Trap here, because I know that both these players put a lot of prep going into the series.
Oh, no doubt. This is probably the most prep they've ever been for anything, and it's PvP. We're about to start best of 7. The winner goes on to the finals.
That's right. We'll start off on King's Cove. Classic vs. Trap begins now.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Greenwings Trap.
I want to talk about a period of time from a long time ago.
Please.
About Trap that I found so fascinating at the time. And if you're a longtime GSL watcher and you remember things that don't matter very much, and this might be something you remember, but like back in Heart of the Swarm, we had a period with a lot of good Protoss players. That's just kind of, I guess, a period we've had in Korea a lot. But Shadows of Kingmark, Seattle. Oh, we've been there, yeah.
Oh yeah, we had been there.
Yeah, it was fun. We chased some nerds off the Street Fighter machine.
That's right.
They came and they're like, I think I'll play some Street Fighter. Not against us, you won't.
We were a couple of thugs, man, showing up in the arcade. Yeah. Those kids had to head for the hills.
They did. They were running out quarters or dropping out of their pockets. Yeah. When you drop your quarters, you can keep them! And they're crying, run out the door. Anyways, at that time, Trap was a clear Tier 2 Protoss. I wasn't quite saying yet. Even E-Mini wasn't saying that he was underrated at the time. He was like a Tier 2. Maybe even a bottom of Tier 2 Protoss. He wasn't, the same level as some of the other guys, Hero and all them. But he is someone that I actually made this argument for a little bit that playing PvP well was bad. And that was because the better players were all trying to stop everything, while people like Trap, that were a level down, were actually getting way increased win rates against them because they would just take an edge. They'd be like, I don't know, this can lose to DTs, but I'm doing it. Yeah. Right? So they wouldn't get observed with their blink, for instance.
So much cutting of corners.
And he was the poster boy for that at that time. Nowadays, I look at his PvP, which, by the way, have a proxy Stargate. Don't want to skip over everything. But nowadays, his PvP, I feel like he's almost extremely good. But he sometimes, is he too addicted to glaives? Like, I don't even know. I don't even know if that's
he's gone glaives a lot.
He's a glaives guy.
By the way, wait, he did not actually spot that. He had a click to go there, but did not commit to that. I feel like we've seen Trap in several different iterations of himself. He doesn't seem to have, you take someone, we were mentioning Beyond, for instance, earlier. Beyond is somebody he's going to try to go for micro fights early on. Mm-hmm. You know what units he likes to use. I think Trap has gone through several different iterations of how he approaches the game and the matchup. And I think the one that we're looking at now is definitely capable of cutting corners, but also very comfortable playing very safe. Mm-hmm. Almost a little bit stats-esque at times. Although I don't know if that's necessarily as true in PvP.
Yeah, PvP is such a wild matchup right now.
Okay, so initially this Oracle comes in, 6 kills.
Ridiculous amount of damage. 6 kills off that Proxy Oracle. Of course, he was timed out for a non-Proxy Oracle there.
Yeah.
So that's painful. He even got it scouted that he's going for the Robo. So...
And from here, Classic throws down another Nexus. There's 2 Oracles over here, which it mutes the shield battery, basically. You could just zap down probes immediately because of the DPS. And we're going to see that now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well,
that should make Trap feel a lot better.
Yeah.
I'm actually mildly surprised that the Nexus went down so quickly for Classic. Because he saw the Robo, right? And when you see Robo in the main base like this, it is undoubtedly going to be stalkers with, a prism to just try to break you.
I think the idea was if he tries to come out and break him, the 2 Oracles can come in and just gun down the workers, and then maybe you just cancel. You even sack the Nexus, throw it away. Try to run up onto the high ground and just win in a game where you have a better, economic engine going for you. But then he came in, I think, a little bit too eager there with the 2 Oracles, lost one. Mm-hmm. And he might end up being in an uncomfortable spot here.
Kind of makes sense. Like, he lost a lot of probes early on, so it's hard to super critique how he's playing, but if he went for the Robo already, and he killed an Oracle, because I think you're probably right about trying to pin him in there, but you got rid of one of the Oracles, you have a shield battery. I feel like this might open up a chance for you to move across the map with your Prism and with your Stalkers and try to get something done, but instead, he's playing from a deficit in every single area right now. It's not like there's this one little special secret hidden area that Trap is ahead in right now.
Okay, nice little adept harass here. Gotta be careful not to get too ambitious with that Warp Prism. It looks like there's just not enough Stalkers to have any real impact, so we can actually maneuver that pretty freely here. And we're now in the phase of the game here where both sides are going to be incrementing out Immortals. And with the Forge there from Trap, I guess there's a nod towards a later game.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he realizes that there's nothing he can really get done now. He's missed any sort of window that he might have had. And the fact that he's just going to go into upgrades, that's smart. Sit back, play defensively, make Immortals, get some upgrades. Maybe later on in the game, you know, there will be some sort of moment where you can come back now.
Yeah, I think going for the long play is definitely a good idea here. Trap just staying outside on the edges of this base. And he might try to do something tactical here, coming into the main and then just trying to gun down as many probes as possible. Keep in mind the Warp Prism is over there just on the side of our screen, and it actually gets shot down. Another misstep here from Trap. And I got to say, you know, it's one thing to lose those workers early on, to lose the Warp Prism again. And considering PvP tends to be pretty short, keeping Robo units alive is one of the most important things to be doing.
Yeah.
It's going to allow you to make easier decisions later on. For instance, losing that Warp Prism, okay, now do you make another one? Do you stop making Immortals?
Yeah, that's a hard one.
You immediately lose so many options there. So Trap having a hard time. Again, the game's not over, but Classic continues to eke out a lead.
Yeah. I like Classic's play in a lot more ways than this from Trap, right? Because, as you said, that does take up valuable build time there. It was kind of interesting in the way that he flew the Prism up on the side. It almost looked like one of these moves that you'll see oftentimes against Zerg, where you shade in a couple depths, kill a drone, and pop him into the Prism. But the main base isn't situated like that, so he hasn't really found that damage.
Classic has his Warp Prism just down here. I believe there's a blind spot inside the main, so he can actually unload, and it looks like he's not going to warp in, but instead come in here and just take some free hits. Yeah. I mean, losing a pylon is potentially the least impactful thing that could happen, but it's something, right? And I think Classic is being smart by trying to continue to squeeze out a little bit of an advantage without really any risk involved. He could have, for instance, tried to go for a Robo or gone right to where the workers are, but this is pretty safe what he's doing over here, as long as he doesn't lose that Warp Prism.
You know what's kind of interesting? Ooh, that was
he's
beautiful.
So good.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting here, watching this game unfold, is that Trap actually got up to a higher worker count than Classic, and, you know, just utilizing those adepts. So in some ways he did end up recovering here, and he's got the same amount of Immortals, which is a huge part of this.
Yeah, we have more gates coming down here. I have to say, the fact that these tactics keep working,
oh my
and Trap
God.
has no way to assert himself right now, this is, I think, going to get worse and not better here for Trap.
Yeah.
I'm trying to go for the Warp Prism, but you can see the Immortal actually blocks the way, and with the Warp Prism pickup range, he just easily gets that out. Now, we have that Warp Prism remade over here for Trap. He's going to try to come in and get some P-Tech here. Let's see how Classic handles this.
It is pretty messy to try to handle. He did repower that Stargate, so it might even be worth his while to make a Phoenix out of it.
That's a good point.
Oh, he actually already did.
Yeah.
There it is.
Charge is on the way here. Already finishing for Trap, but Classic's a few seconds behind.
Yeah, both sides going for that +2.
Look at the combination of this. The Oracle with the Immortal and the Stalker Warp Prism. It's really tough to figure out what you want to target down, right?
Isn't that
weird?
We
haven't really seen this before.
No, we've never seen it before. It's never happened.
And now that we're looking at it, I feel like this makes complete and total sense.
It's so
you lay the trap, right? They might want to target that, but then the Immortal and the Stalkers are doing so much damage. You're obviously very tempted to get the Warp Prism, but if you try to attack into the Warp Prism, the stasis ward can get set off and freeze your army anyways. It's like, how do you really deal with this?
Yeah, I guess it should be pointed out that this will only work against a robo opening when you think of it. Because if you went Blink, you'll stop it, and if you went Stargate, obviously you'll just make a Phoenix against this. But what a very interesting play here from Classic.
But if you have a game that pans out with robo play, this is probably what you want to do.
It seems cool. Like if the game progresses like this, where no one can really do too much to each other.
He's getting worker kills, and he's also he's freezing workers. It's like he's getting the best of both worlds. Now Trap is going to try to come out here for a timing attack. Classic is in the process of acquiring a third. The question is was all that harass, all that damage that Trap took, did that actually slow him down enough? Because two-base, he's going to cancel.
This army is not a joke.
No, this is
a serious army.
Yeah,
through that choke though, it's a little bit of a joke.
I don't think he can push this much further. I think it was worth it for Classic to try to expand, but he can't push this issue any further. And of course, two-base on two-base, Classic still has a steady lead. Unpowering those gates too.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And, both of them sitting here with +2. Looks like Classic has 5 Immortals against 2, so with stats like that, I mean, you have an Archon lead, but the Immortals end up being worth so much in these battles.
It's a little suspect, that Zealot attack there. I don't think he was quite paying attention.
I think he thought he might chase him to the third or something, and then he can get some harass done, but
okay.
I feel like Trap has had the door shut on him so many times now.
Well, I think the way that this game should go from here is Classic just expands again.
Yeah.
Trap denied the base, but he did it at a cost. He lost workers, many of them. He even lost some pylons back there. And Classic, I think, simply expands again and waits. It says, go ahead, try to attack into me again here.
Yeah. You know what? This Immortal Harassment, I mean, it's definitely doing a job. Maybe, though, do you think Classic might need to attack? Because if he just expands again, doesn't this give Trap another opportunity of making a big enough army that you can't go up his ramp? Like, if Trap right now, because Classic did just throw it on his third Nexus, what if Trap sits very defensively on top of his ramps right now, just keeps making units for that, and goes directly into Disruptor Tech? That feels like in a situation in which there's a comeback possibility.
Also the fact that the third base is easy to hold, I think you make a good point there.
Yeah.
If Classic tries to attack in and Trap holds it, well then Trap's basically survived this whole problem. And we go into a super late game PvP.
But Classic looks like he's going for the kill, though.
Yeah, Classic wants to come out and wants to try to get into a fight. This angle, though, not ideal for Classic here.
No, very good engagement there by Trap to start off with. Very clutch play. He needs moves like that right now. He needs to buy some more time. He did start +3, whereas Classic did not. Classic, I think, is really looking forward to just ending the game here because he does have that big advantage. But if you take your fights in just the right spots, you can get that defender's advantage.
Classic continuing to push forward. We see Trap retreating up onto his high ground. I'm sorry, where is Classic's Warp Prism? Is he going to fly that into the main and start warping?
I think it's right behind his army.
Okay. Oh, I think I saw the shadow of it for a second. Okay, so he's continuing to roam here.
Gosh, he has so many Immortals.
Created a bit of a no man's land here. I would be surprised if either player tries to attack into that. Now, with the Warp Prism and 2 Archons, I think he's going to drop this behind the workers there and try to actually get a warp in. Here we go.
It's a smart move. He can get up the ramp now.
Because if he gets up the ramp, then he confirms there's not going to be a third base for Trap, and Classic wins in a very technical late game fashion.
Yeah, now that he's up here, I mean, this game is... What a clinical game from Classic, seriously.
He had great harass at the start, and then he's just played this positional game perfectly.
He really has.
And you could even see Trap trying to move out, blocked off by the army there. And Classic's third base is finished, by the way. So now he's just mining from his third. He's now leagues ahead economically from where Trap is. And I think very intelligently. So Classic just goes back home and defends the counterattack.
Okay, so I think that this is Trap's only chance to win the game right now. He has +3 against not +3, and their army supply is pretty close. So if he is going to win this game at all, it's right now.
The War Prism's going to go down. So the harass
nice
pick. But can he actually get in here and do the damage? This bottleneck is very tight.
Oh, God,
okay,
no.
Good call there. He immediately turns around. He's going to move back up here.
If they're on flat terrain, maybe there's a chance. Going up these little ramps... I mean, the ramp is not even that little, but look at these armies.
Yeah, the ramps.
Can you imagine trying? What do you need to go up that ramp?
The ramps are a little considering how much they have.
Any race tasteless, what do you need to go up that ramp?
You need a lot, man.
You need brood lords tasteless. It's the only way, and they fly, so it's not even a real answer.
Oh my God, he's going to try to come in now. Really good angling here from my Classic. He's got a pretty good arc, but I have to say, Travis kind of squeezed his way in here, and the warp in position is really nice.
Yeah.
He actually might be able to engulf this a little bit further.
The Immortals are just too strong. See how there's still 5? There's 5 at the beginning of the battle.
Yeah.
There's still 5. There's still only 1 for his opponent. Like, Immortals beat everything.
GG. Classic takes game 1.
Crazy.
In a really sophisticated PvP. That was actually pretty beautiful. I mean, the way Classic approached that, you can really see he knows exactly where to take his victories.
Yeah.
He's not really overextending. It wasn't a perfect game. I mean, he did lose a Warp Prism and a few other moves, but he knew exactly how to pick fights that were very difficult, especially that Oracle Warp Prism harass with the Immortal and the Stalkers and the Warp Prism. And then really elegantly shuts Trap out of a third base while Classic's getting his own, and then collapses back to defend his own base because he's already taken the lead. Trap has to do something. He can't just play from behind, and Classic holds. So good. The level of skill that Classic displayed throughout that game was amazing. And it's not that Trap was bad. Trap kept trying to make things happen, and they didn't happen, unfortunately. I mean, he ended up killing some probes here and there, but I tell you, I feel like this is still going to be a very good match, though, because Trap got into a tough position right from the get-go and still fought really well and did a lot of things nicely. Yeah. It's far from over. We're going to GSL Cobalt, one of our weirder maps here in the GSL, as this best of 7 continues. Again, the winner of Classic and Trap goes to the GSL Code S Finals.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings Trap.
So one thing we just want to get out of the way early on here is that hidden bases have been a big theme on this map.
Yeah, they have.
Because this is our big map here. We've had a lot of 1-versus-1 maps, and those are generally a little bit smaller. They don't have to be, but they generally are. And this is a huge 4-player map, and sometimes PvP can be so tight and action-packed early on that one player can just slip a hidden base, and as long as they're good with the defense back at home, if the other player doesn't find it, they will end up with a bad read on where they are economically, and you can win in the long run. I don't know if it's necessarily great PvP, but it's something we've definitely seen. All right, that's an excellently drawn Classic there.
You can't take a photo of someone and say it's poorly drawn. That's mean.
But we'll see if this is even a long game at all.
Yeah.
I'm actually surprised that game 1 went on in that kind of fashion. I mean, I'm happy to have a long PvP, but we've had so many short games.
Well, King's Cove is the ultimate defensive map, right? So if you're going to have a longer one, it's probably that map, maybe Thunderbird. I feel like it's just in general, you almost never see mining third bases in PvP right now. I don't think that that's going to change in this game.
Yeah, things ramp up so fast in PvP. So we're going to watch now and try to see what the tech is going to be exactly. Last time it was a proxied Stargate that actually initially gave Classic the upper hand. I think he played it pretty excellently the entire way through.
I like trapping the probe in there, making sure that he confirms the kill.
Yep.
You don't want to just leave that probe out in the map like he's a little Mr. Bond. Things can go wrong later on.
This is a little technique where you put a pylon here because you want to see, are you going to cancel that or not? And it at least forces you to keep it going for a while. Doesn't appear that Classic's going to cancel that Stargate.
No, I don't think he is. And Trap has actually responded with his own Stargate. That's definitely a responsive Stargate, which tells me that Trap should be going Phoenixes with this. Now, Phoenixes don't beat Oracles like they used to. They used to be like, oh, you went Phoenix and who went Oracle. You know, you'd beat someone way better than your PvP. Like, oh, did you go Phoenix and they went Oracle? Like, you know, that would be that would be the way to describe it.
Well, there was also the situation where both sides before they had been forced to keep going Phoenixes once it started.
Yeah.
So the person who chickened out and stopped would usually end up winning a very quick air fight.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be exactly like that. Okay, he actually scouts it, it looks like. Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, okay, never mind. I was like, where is his sentry then? There it is. It's hiding in the corner so these adepts don't kill it. Anyways, he sees that it is Phoenixes. So it's Phoenix versus Phoenix at the moment. I don't think that they'll stay heavily on Phoenix like the old days. Although, to be honest, with the way PvPs have gone so far from that, I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Yeah, I'd be down for that.
It's been a long time.
We have the Twilight Council being made over here inside Trap's main behind the minerals. That Nexus has just finished up, but Trap's Nexus is actually not that far behind.
We have a bit of a probe lead right now for Trap. With that Twilight, we'll see where he wants to go with it. I would imagine into Blink. Doesn't necessarily have to be.
And we have both sides continuing to make Phoenixes here.
Sometimes you'll see someone rush into DTs against Phoenix when you're both going Phoenix, you know?
Yeah.
Just look for that free win.
When that tech is neglected, that can be a really frustrating way to lose, but...
Well, and it's Phoenix versus Phoenix. The last thing you want is a Robo. You know, you really, if you can get away with not having one, that's superior. But Trap is going to go ahead and just grab Blink here.
Yeah,
it's pretty normal
smart move. Now the Oracle's actually coming in here and getting a few kills. Looks like it's going to get 3 and actually get out.
Ooh.
Oh, wow, 4 even.
Yeah.
I didn't see that probe was coming out of the gas there.
Very solid. We'll end up losing it to this Phoenix, but... You know, I like that he takes the risk there, grabbing that Oracle, and got some decent value out of it. Okay, Forge coming up for Trap. Meanwhile, Classic sitting back with his Robo.
Okay. Phoenixes are going to continue to roam out here for Classic.
Yeah, he's actually coming up with a decent amount of units, maybe looking to draw the army in one direction and harass the other piece. But it's a long walk. We'll see how many units are at that natural. I'm not so sure right now.
This is also already becoming a completely different game than what we saw in Game 1.
Yeah, very much so.
Last game, because of a lack of Stargate units, you could be incredibly abusive with Warp Prisms.
Yeah, a game like this, you don't even want to make one almost. You
yeah,
see, he's actually sent a probe to make a pylon.
Here comes forward. Blink just now finishes. And is Trap actually going to try to move out here?
Well, he's got Blink, so I think, yeah, why not? Get out here and mess up what Classic has. So this should make Classic really start focusing on getting into a lot of Immortals. Both of them do have Forges up, so that's going to be pretty similar. The question here for Trap is, do you try to stay very gateway heavy and either play aggressively or take more bases, or are you going to go ahead and start your own Immortal production? And with 13 Blink Stalkers, I think he's answered our question for us.
Yeah. He's going to try to come up now. Keep in mind the Phoenixes can basically disarm some of these Stalkers in that fight. And then with the Immortal here on the low ground, it looks like a fight that probably Classic can take as long as he executes things correctly.
Yeah.
But what if Trap tries to blink in somewhere crazy here? All right, a blink away immediately. It's either that or you try to blink onto the Immortal.
Yeah.
Probably not going to work against Classic, though.
Especially with that many Phoenixes in the air. Like, you can just be torn apart. Gets up here with his Phoenixes, realizing that these Stalkers are not a threat anymore. And he sees a probe waiting over near the third bases, which is what you would expect when someone has this many Blink Stalkers. You really need to utilize your gateway unit count, right? You're kind of more mobile than an Immortal-based army, so you've got to take your third quickly, and that's exactly what we see Trap doing.
If we see Classic aggressively moving into mid-game here with a lot of gateways, he's going to have a lot more muscle on the map. The Templar Archives has started as well, and Trap actually, I'm wondering how this is going to pan out for him, because he's taking this Nexus. A lot of times in PvP, we see both sides power up on 2 bases. Even in Starcraft 1, I've even seen that as a kind of general understanding of Protoss. Is that he who takes the third base too quickly is oftentimes not going to survive for long enough for that third base to really kick in.
Yeah, and that's what Classic's going to be going for here regardless. Like, he is 100% going to hit a big Immortal push. It's going to be like 3 Immortals plus 1 attack charge Archon. I would be surprised if he doesn't move out. You know, you have to be a little bit careful, because if you lose that army one time when you're a little bit behind on bases, then you're going to be in a lot of trouble. But his army really is going to be just barely smaller and countering his opponents.
Okay, immediately Classic comes in here, gets a few pickoffs. Those Phoenixes had already scouted and confirmed that the third base was there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and retract that. It seems with how heavy... Oh my god, he loses the Prism.
Wow.
Well, the Prism is a big part of the attack, so he can't go until he gets it.
Prism, like, is the attack.
Yeah.
Without it, you can't reinforce.
But to be honest, with the amount of harassment he's done with the Phoenixes... Now, the Phoenixes aren't the most valuable thing in the whole world during the actual engagement, but it almost makes me feel like he wants to wait until his +2.
Yeah, it does seem like that. Well, he's taking his third now, and he might try to come in here a little bit later on. Again, Classic is pretty methodical in PvP. Even though we've had, historically, a lot of very crazy games, PvP and GSL, it seems like so far as we go into Game 2, again, it's Classic just trying to navigate this into a game where he could just have enough boxes ticked off that when it comes time for the final fight, he's basically handled everything perfectly, and he should have a minor lead. And I guess in this case, yeah, it's going to be that +2. Trap actually coming out here now that his base has been up and running for a little while, and he might try to get a little bit of positional play here and make it tough for Classic to actually move out.
Ooh, I don't know if this is going to work. He actually blinks in, starts targeting Archons here with his Stalkers, which means he's relying heavily on his charge lots.
+2
I don't think he has enough.
You know, this looked wrong before it happened.
Yeah.
But he's committing. The Archons are all over here on the left side. A lot of Immortals and Archons here for Classic.
And he needs to get something done with this attack, and it's not feeling like there's going to be enough done.
Yeah, War Prism very low, at risk of being targeted here. We have another Warp Pit coming now for Classic. Classic fends out that attack pretty easily.
And now Classic has just a gigantic lead.
Yeah,
he had a lead before, but it's bigger.
The attack timing just seemed a little bit weird, didn't it? Yeah, Classic's been on 2 bases powering up. His third base is later. Trap's third base had finished, but I don't know if that had really kicked in. And he also didn't have as much high-tech units.
You know, it used to be that if you were going Charge Blink with some Archons against the Immortal user, you would have a bit more supply, and you'd have your third base quicker, and you'd basically try to deny their third, and then kind of use your overwhelming unit count to counter the Immortals. Unfortunately, he never got into a position where that was very doable for him. We had a bunch of Blink Stalkers early on. They didn't really do anything. His third base wasn't that much quicker. Classic played a solid defensive game and continually harassed with his air units, so it's a tough one here for Trap. Who, again, I mean, he's playing very well, but Classic, oh my god.
That was huge. He just snipes the War Prism right out of the sky. And that was a full War Prism as well. I believe it was 2 Archons in there.
Yeah.
Snipes that immediately. And
his
actually,
army
I'm sorry, I wasn't looking at the mini-map for a second, but somehow these 2 armies have gone around each other.
Well, the Trap is not going to be able to hold on against anything. He has like less of just about everything. Yeah, everything actually.
Oh yeah, no, that's a very tiny army by comparison.
He's just trying to take out pylons right now. I mean, maybe if he's making like a Dark Shrine, there's some sort of miracle play that can occur.
Yeah, even though both these players are taking serious blows here, and yeah, I mean, I guess Classic's base is unpowered. I think that all the key economic points for Trap are going to get wiped out here.
Yeah, Trap is losing everything. And I guess both of them really are.
Classic has, I believe, the better army as far as tech units go, Archons and Immortals here.
Classic only has 1 probe on the map, though.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's, I mean...
But this is about to change, right? I mean, we haven't had any probes evacuated here by Trap.
And I guess he's going to do a recall? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you want to fight that as Classic. Hey, look at that. He's actually, that's a great pickoff there with Trap's doing.
Okay, Classic's control has been pretty good here. Even with that many Archons, you know, the Stalker's not over here to help with the rest of this attack. They're actually isolated onto the low ground. I think Classic is still going to win this fight up there. Am I wrong about this?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Right now he's trying so hard to actually take down the Immortals and Prisms. Because those are kind of, you know, if you have Blink Stalkers, you can eventually kill everything in the whole world, but
yeah.
Immortals are just too strong.
Another warping of 4 Stalkers, excuse me. He just used the Blink. Oh my god. Okay, a recall.
Oh,
hold on.
Oh my god.
He gets 3 back there. There's apparently a Zealot here.
Dude,
hold on a second. I think actually Trap's army is just better enough. And none of the gateways are powered yet. There's also no... Well, hold on.
No, Trap's got this. He's now got this.
He should actually cancel.
It's funny that he made
pylons.
2 pylons.
Yeah,
it's like doesn't...
Now there's 1 Archon, though. Hold on.
Whoop. Oh, he doesn't quite have enough for another one. He's trying to get it, though.
Okay, he's got that. Actually, 2 Archons could do this, Sartosis. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, he's going to kite this pretty well. Hold on.
Oh, I'm surprised how hard he's diving on that Archon. I feel like you pick off the Stalkers and then everything's done.
Everything goes a little bit easier.
He's got it. Wow, what a win by Trap. I'm really, like, he really was in a worse position there.
This is so crazy.
That's like an SOS victory right there. Oh,
yeah,
man.
He could just abuse the placement of the buildings. Look at that. He's never going to get touched. And Trap in a miracle play. Oh, my God.
Wow. Oh, my God. Classic's face right now really is kind of showing the entire range of emotions for that game. Classic actually outdid Trap for basically the entire game. Then the armies walked around each other. It's like, shut up, tasteless. Nothing's going to happen. Classic's army's so much better. And then Trap miraculously peels everything apart, does a recall, picks off the Prism and Immortal, and all the Immortals, rather. Damn. And then Blink wins the day.
You know, I do wonder about the second pylon. He made 2 pylons to power his gates.
I guess it was to get the Archons.
No, he didn't need it. He could have had 1 pylon at the gateway cluster on the left. That's like 5 gateways right there.
Oh, yeah. If you can power 4 gates, you're 100% right. Yeah. Then maybe he can get 2 Archons
and he's like a Zealot or something. Yeah. Anyways, we're going to go to a break. We come back. This PvP Best of 7 continues.
How did I lose the way through the things that really matter? These complications spin my mind, but I know I gotta keep pushing through. Yeah, I keep doing my own thing, yeah, never looking back again. I can get it, I can make it, yeah, I know it, and I'm never looking back again. Yeah, never looking back again. I can get it, I can make it, yeah, I know it, and I'm never looking back again.
Semi-finals.
Welcome back. What a crazy PvP we've had so far. I'm really excited to see that Trap actually can win, and that was a really technical fashion how we managed to pull that off. We had like a base trade situation going down, and Trap had the exact right number of units to handle that. Archons, obviously stronger units than Stalkers, but Stalkers can be microed in such a way that if you have to pull it off, they will not get touched.
Yeah. If you're only microing your Stalkers,
possibly.
Well, we saw Alpha Star, right? We know that this is theoretically the strongest thing there is.
Yeah, theoretically the most abusive thing. By the way, hang on to your tickets if you're here at the studio. We've got a giveaway at the end of the show. T-shirts, photo album, and a scarf.
A scarf?
Which is
just
exactly
in time for
what
summer.
You need, yes, in the blistering summer heat here in Seoul. Now, I think there were some things that Classic maybe could have changed back there, and we might have had a different outcome. He did make 2 pylons instead of 1, and he got his Archon out a little bit later.
He dealt with the base trade incorrectly. I think there's no way to argue that. The way that he split his units to kill off the base of his opponent was off.
Down below is the information for our finals.
We'll be here.
Yes.
And that is on the 22nd at 5
We're
p.m.
allowing 2 tickets to be purchased by 1 person.
Just in case you need 2 seats. 1 for your bag and 1 for you.
I think also to try to prevent any scalping or anything like that. And then
the only scalping that's going to happen is to Dark's head from Classic, okay?
Get nerd scalps. It keeps him, makes a pelt out of him.
Yeah, he's got a whole Dark jacket at this point.
Now, we're going to go into Game 3. By the way, as we always say, make sure if you're going to come to our finals, get a hold of a GSL studio ticket first, then get your plane ticket. Don't do it the other way around.
The finals is great.
Finals is a lot of fun.
Definitely come down. It's always super hype no matter who's playing. But, I mean,
So we're going to go to Thunderbird for map number 3. And Trap 1 and this insane Hail Mary play. But I do feel like overall Classic is showing more optimal PvP.
Yes, he's playing better overall. And it's 1-1, but that doesn't really tell the story. This could very easily be 2-0 for Classic right now.
That's right. We'll have to see if Trap can continue to pull this off. We're going into Game 3 right now.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings Trap.
Interesting stuff already. Gateway over on the low ground here by Classic.
Yeah, look at that.
That is interesting. What are we going to see because of that?
Yeah, he's definitely going to be up to something here.
Oh,
and that probe is about to come over here into the spawn location here for Trap. Classic here with an earlier scout.
I'm excited to see what he's doing here with this build. What is the strategy from Classic? Looks like it's going to be one gateway.
And then
Gate
there's a
Nexus. That makes the most sense.
Expanding more quickly than the 2 gating Trap here.
Yeah. So will you full wall down there? Not entirely sure as of yet. There's a few different ways you can try to go about using a quick Nexus. Sometimes you just want to go into a lot of gateways.
Right.
I could see a world in which he wants to try to get Immortals out and shield batteries as his greatest defense. I feel like Stargate is maybe the least likely thing that we'll see.
This is one of the tricky things about PvP is, once the core is done for Protoss, then there's so many different branches in the build. It's one of the reasons why, if you play a lot of Starcraft 2, you've probably been tricked before with tech or surprised a lot by Protoss because they have this moment very early on where they can take the game into completely different directions. And so we're always waiting to see what are the techs going to be, and then how do those 2 techs interact.
Yeah.
Now, this one has an additive here in that there is key Protoss structures on the low ground outside of the natural expansion. So this is already a little bit unusual compared to what we've seen so far.
Now, Trap is trying to play reactively against this. Look at this. Okay, so the Stargate and a couple of depths. He had already started the Stalkers before he got there. The thing is, these are pretty obvious things that someone seeing this for the first time would do. So I feel like this is most likely what Classic is most prepared against.
Yeah. Well, Classic also getting a Stargate of his own.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, that isn't the first thing that came to my mind, but now he's going to scout, and obviously that'll be a good counter to Oracles, because he can get Phoenixes to chase him.
Yeah, and also, you just got your expansion up, so I think as time passes here, we're going to get into a position where Classic will once again be in a better spot than Trap here. And this time with more muscle economically, more freedom to kind of do what he wants, even now chasing away Trap here. It doesn't seem like there's any holes in Classic Swing Expand that Trap could try to punch through to punish him here. You can see the battery's already healing this up here.
Very smart. Yeah, that second battery come up, so no depths could get through. Good building placement here. You can see how well planned out this is for him so far. He's not losing units as of yet.
So far, so good. It looks like he might lose this one Stalker. A little bit of a hiccup here.
Oh, wow. Actually cancels the second shield battery. That's interesting.
He holds.
Yeah.
Now that Oracle's going to come up here. We need to see how many probe kills this is going to get. But the Phoenix is already here, which means the Oracle now has to be used, unless he decides to retreat and then try to cover it later on.
All right, goes ahead, uses the recall. Didn't get that much done, though. Right?
Yeah, and you see that was recalled back to Trap's later expansion here. Classic is so calculated in how he approaches these PvPs.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this is... He prepped very, very well, you can see. He really had a precise hold against those early units. He had the wall up at the right time, the shield battery out. A very cool build pulled out from Classic. And look at this, he's up 8 workers right now.
Yeah.
That is substantial.
And it's Trap now trying to play catch-up. Now he might try to tech into a different direction here. The Forge is coming along now, as is the Robo here. So Classic, again, a nod towards winning in a longer game. Oh, my God.
Oh, man, this is a huge catch.
This gets even worse. Look, he can actually have one Phoenix each take on one Oracle.
Oh, that's painful. Just getting some tags off. Nothing really going well for Trap here.
Yeah, so far not so good. And losing those assets means less options. Now, it seems like Trap wants to try to come out here and do an attack. There's been plenty of different tech routes that Classic is acquiring here, so maybe there'll be some fragility there, but I don't think so. You know, yeah. I mean, I don't blame Trap for trying. I mean, he has to try to do something, but I think Classic might just be ready for this.
I think that you are completely right. Like, this attack that we're seeing, I think that this might have been, if he could have paused the game and said, Artosis, you tell me what to do for a victory, I would have told him to go ahead with maybe a Prism Stalker or a 3-gate, something like that, to try to overwhelm. Because this was such a technical defense by Classic overall, and he's prepped the strat. It's not like he's doing it blind. You know, he put thought into what was going to occur, and now he's got Immortals making more shield batteries. Like, maybe he can still break him.
With every Immortal that pops out, it's going to be another opportunity here. Good force fields there. Trap is trying. He's doing his best.
Yeah.
Here come those Phoenixes, so when things really heat up, he can begin to disable some of the Stalkers. Again, as every Immortal pops out, it's going to get that much worse here for Trap. Now he's actually come around. He's below the army here. The Warp Prism's still in good health. A second Immortal does pop out.
The Zod's coming out is kind of neat right here. Definitely getting some real damage done right there.
Yeah, that was almost like Caltrop so that he couldn't chase him any further forward here. But now the Warp Prism goes down. The Stalkers will recall. Not all of them, though.
This was, like, Classic is just showing that he absolutely deserves to be in, like, every single GSL finals.
He is styling on Trap so hard right now. I almost feel bad for Trap. Well, I mean, I think Classic, if he wants to, can counterattack, or he could just expand and throw down more gateways. He can kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I think when you have 3 Immortals in a situation like this, you've shut everything down. Take your third base, just nail a very solid Army's timing attack. It doesn't seem like there's any way that could be held.
A further lead is taken by Classic as he snipes off a few of those probes mining at the gas. 3 Immortals, 2 no Immortals now. I mean, this has got to be almost a suffocating feeling here for Trap.
Yeah.
You know when you're playing against somebody and you kind of just don't get to do any of the stuff that you want to do because they're just so good at defending, and you know that Trap probably saw that quick expand and said, oh, what is he doing now? And then tried to come out and attack, and it's like, no, he's ready for that.
Yeah. Well, it's a different in levels still, but preparation as well. And the thing is, again, like I mentioned earlier on in the tournament, that I felt like Trap is very, very good, but he's absolutely not ready to win GSL. And I think you can see some of that coming through here as well, where it's like Trap is very, very good, and he is not as good as he's going to be. He is still improving. There's no question there. But, you know, for instance, some of the reactions that we've seen today, some of the preparation as far as the builds go, you can just see a higher level of that in Classic. Someone who is fighting so hard to get his second GSL championship.
Yeah, you can really clearly see it. He's just very methodically shutting down every possible opportunity until he's got Trap completely cornered, and then he's going to come in for a killing blow.
It's deadly watching.
Yeah. It's kind of terrifying to watch as well, just because, you know, a lot of PvPs are so action-packed and crazy, and instead it's Classic, just every step forward is a step towards his goal. You know, there's actually very little risk involved in what he's doing.
Yeah. And maybe this was his riskiest opening, but he knew it. He had it mapped out very, very well and anticipated exactly the types of things that Trap did.
It's one of the more fascinating things about seeing this happen in a mirror matchup. You know, the fact that you both start out with the same everything, you know, and then to see one player so gracefully, completely, and totally take a lead.
Yeah.
With the exact same stuff they start out in.
And without their opponent playing poorly. It's not like he's just making stupid moves or something, you know. He's not making huge micro errors. It's just Classic's good.
GG. Classic takes game 2, meaning he only needs 2 more wins to move on to the GSL Code S Finals. That Trap He has managed to take one game off of Classic, but it was one of those 1 in a million games.
Oh, yeah.
Came down to a small number of units. He had some very smart decision-making, but it just seems like Classic has better blueprints for PvP overall.
Yeah. Classic is not missing a beat here tonight, with the sole exception of splitting his army a little bit wonkily, and losing that base trade. Next
wonkily.
map, yeah, a little bit wonkily. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah. Some Tom Wonkery going on.
Wonkery going on. Turbo Cruise coming up next.
That's right, Turbo Cruise. This is
some Tom Cruisery on this next map.
Turbo Cruise 84. That's where it's all going to go down. Either Classic is going to be so close to closing this out, or Trap will unfortunately even this out at 2-2. A very important match here. Our game has now loaded up. This match of Classic versus Trap continues on.
Makers Classic.
Ooh.
Jin Air Green Wings Trap.
Oh, look at that.
I wonder which position he's going to use for the cannon rush. Remember the cannon rush that Classic did here?
Yeah.
I wonder if he's just going to use that against him.
Here we go.
The answer is yes. He's using Classic's cannon rush against him.
Yeah. This is so great.
I'm going to do to you what you did to Sue.
Okay, here we go. The cannon will start on the low ground here, and that's to cover the pylon that's up here in the main.
Look at this, man. This is so fun.
And this is in such a position that it's very, very, very difficult to actually get workers down there to try to fight it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say he fully closed this off so that another probe can't come up, so that's very, very smart. Now he has to kill the probe. It is so crucial.
Okay, he kills it.
Yeah, you know what? He's held.
All right,
that's
so Classic is just
My
so
God.
good.
Yeah, that's the only thing you have to do in this situation. If you wall it off all the way and then do that, it's because the cannon isn't over at the wall, so you're not going to break through anything. Classic actually just cancels it. Yeah.
Trap basically says, wait a minute, what is this rubber ball doing on my nose? And he says, oh, that's right, I'm a clown. And GG taps out.
Look at his face. Oh,
that's embarrassing.
Just like, well.
Classic knows he tried to pull a fast one on him. Just don't do that.
Classic, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, he's looking so good. I really hope that Dark wins against Hurricane, because seeing what he's doing to Trap right now, like, oh, Hurricane, I want more than a 4-0 at the finals, please.
You got to highlight the emotions here as well. I mean, Trap went into that game going for the sucker punch. He was hoping that he would just pull the rug out from under Classic and steal that win away, even it up. Not the case. Now Trap has to win every game from here on out, or it will be Classic who moves on to the finals of the GSL Code S. We are going to go to a short break, and when we return, game number 5. Don't go away.
you go. Didn't wanna walk away with everything you didn't know and everything left to say. I'm done talking to myself. I'm gonna find somebody else. Tell me, can you hear me? I need you to hear me. Screaming out so loud, but my words don't make a sound. Tell me, can you hear me? Is anybody listening?
She got eyes like a neon sign, stare you down and make you cry. An iron will and a thirst to kill. You wanna see her stuff, she gonna show you. Her poison lips with the metal grip. She gonna pull you in and bleed you dry. She never miss with her electric kiss. You think you're tough, she gonna own you. I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. Tell me, toxic, can you fix my brain? Cause everyone says I'm insane. Help me loosen this ball and chain. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. I was thirsty and I wanted more. Then she burned me with the rebel soul. Tried to warn me and I should have known. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. She grinds you down till you turn to dust. Say your name and tell you lies. Sharp as a knife, I cut you down to size. You could try to run, she gonna find you. You never see you coming, so leave the engine running. She just a criminal, she right behind you. I fell for the devil's daughter. I jumped in, yeah, I drank the water. So tell me, toxic, can you fix my brain? Cause everyone that says I'm insane. Help me loosen this ball and chain. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. I was thirsty and I wanted more. Then she burned me with the rebel soul. Tried to warn me and I should have known. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. So lock me up, but throw away the key. Cause I need shelter from the things I've seen. Save me from this lethal company, so I can breathe. You never see you coming, so leave the engine running. She's just a criminal, she right behind. So tell me, doctor, can you fix my brain? Cause everyone says I'm insane. This ball and chain, there's no use talking, I'm a dead man. I was thirsty and I wanted more. Then she burned me with the rebel soul. There's no use talking, I'm a dead man walking. A dead man walking.
2019 Mountain Dew GSL Season 2 Codex Renaissance.
Welcome back, everyone. Classic is crushing through Trap. We had two games where I think Classic was just exhibiting that he has a better PvP sexton. He knows exactly how to direct the PvP matchup into a victory. We saw one game where Trap had an insane nail biter of a base trade that he ultimately pulled out and came out on top, defeating the 2 remaining Archons that Classic had with his 4 or 5 Stalkers. And then we had one game, and this was the most recent one, where Trap tried to pull a fast one. He tried to steal Classic's wallet. And he basically went for a Cannon Rush.
Yeah.
And it was so easily shut down. And now Trap has to win every game from here on out, or it's Classic who's going to be in the finals of Season 2, 2019 GSL Code S.
That is... I mean, that's a tall order. We'll see what he wants to do on New Repugnancy. Wouldn't mind him trying a Cannon Rush once again. He definitely messed up with that one, but a lot of the other stuff isn't working for him. So
yeah. All right, we are ready now for Game 5, Classic vs. Trap. Let's go.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings, Trap.
yeah. All right. I mean, so far, feels like 4-0 for Classic, but
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also from Moscow. Welcome. Thanks for coming down, guys.
it's a good picture of Moscow.
Protosses each other. The thing is, I don't really know if I believe that Cannon Rush was an impromptu Cannon Rush. I think that was a premeditated build. But it definitely looks bad when you're down that many games.
Well,
And you go for something like that, and Classic,
hey, okay, so
punts you into the next game.
yeah, Cannon Rush. If you're going to Cannon Rush in a position like that, especially, I would say, it's... How do I put this? Like, it's all knowledge-based. You're, like, hoping your opponent doesn't know how to counter it, how to stop it. All Cannon Rushes are that to some extent. It's very heavily knowledge. It's not like you're... I mean, there are little bits of micro and stuff, but it's mostly just knowing how to do everything and when to do everything.
Yeah, there's generally a cap on that micro. And then it's a question of, okay, do you know this exactly? I know we make that joke, like, I know this exactly, but that's actually what the Cannon Rush really is, okay, I have a memorized sequence. Can you actually outmaneuver my sequence?
Yes.
You have to do it perfectly.
Yeah.
If you screw up even a little bit, it's probably going to snowball into a loss for you. But if you know the steps, if you know all the DDR moves, if you can play that rhythm game perfectly, you'll hold it off.
Yeah.
And a lot of times in very high-level matches, it's a really great way to take one game and try to force the player to completely play by your rules. Obviously, it's something you can't do more than once or over and over, because then you just get exposed.
I think it's amazing to mix in.
Yes.
But I don't know, on a map like Turbo Cruise in that position, you're really hoping that they don't know how to stop it. Because the way he did it was just really good. And the thing is, I mean, I guess if you can keep your probe away from his probes and build a few cannons near his cannon, right?
Yeah.
And then still keep your probe alive. It's very hard to do in StarCraft 2. Anyways, all that aside, these build orders favor Trap pretty heavily. All of his buildings are on the edge of his base, and he's getting 3-gated with a prism. So look, he's going to scout all this and think to himself, okay, all right, the comeback. Because he should be able to do this. Oh, he didn't see the Stargate, actually.
Oh, wow, this is a lot more ambiguous than I thought it was, at least from his vision. But he's going to go ahead and try to attack out here anyways. So this is a little bit more rock, paper, scissory right now. And Trap with the upper hand in this. Again, though, we want to watch the execution here. A few missteps here.
Yeah, like, maybe the Oracle can do ridiculous damage across the map, but this army 100% gets the Nexus and can break the ramp as well, and it can break the Stargate. So there's a lot of things that have to go right for Classic here to win this game.
Some batteries are being thrown down here.
Okay, let's see what the Oracle can do. Oh, no, nothing. Okay, so Trap is going to gain a massive advantage here.
Well, this is the kind of play that Trap needed, so this is very exciting.
Yeah.
Now, the question is when Trap gets an upper hand early on, is he able to then direct this game to its logical conclusion? Because Classic is a crafty player. I mean, most of these games we've just seen him take an edge early on, but let's see how he handles this.
Yeah, like the first step is trying to just hold overall, but then we have this situation, right, where he's put so much money into these other structures that are just getting killed off, and then so much money into staying alive with his batteries. Oh, look, it gets worse. I could see Classic GGing pretty quickly here. Like, I don't think you lose quite yet, because you still have, you know, it's still one base economy versus one base economy, but Trap should be feeling amazing at the moment.
Yeah, well, he knows he's at least started the comeback, right? He hasn't even closed out this game, but this is, you know, it's looking up. It's about as good as you can ask for against Classic.
Pretty much. Okay, so Trap going to throw down a Stargate.
And a Nexus as well. He's going to try to get his own expansion up here.
That's interesting on the Stargate. What do you think about that from Trap?
It seems almost like it's just him playing really, really, really safe. Like, see, these Oracles are going to come in. Now, they can one-shot probes, obviously. Well, okay, there they go. Yeah, if you get him synced up. But, you know, I think for him, he just says, okay, I don't want Oracles to be a factor anymore. I just want to get another base up, make
just
more
for
stuff.
A Phoenix, basically?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's maybe not the perfect way to play this, but, like, he's got a lead.
Yeah, like,
I think he's trying to play it in an extremely safe game here.
I think that's reasonable.
Yep.
I do like, though, how Classic is just playing powerfully, right? He's getting the Twilight. Does he go Blink? Does he go Glaives? I have a feeling it'll be Glaives. We'll see in a minute here.
Yeah, there it is. So going for the Glaives, getting a Warp Prism. Classic wants to lean in with a very powerful counterattack. And this is something that has to be taken very, very seriously here from Trap.
Oh, yeah.
Because Trap is the one who's actually going to... Okay, now hold on a second. Can he try to edge out? I think Trap should probably abandon this position right away.
Yeah, you really should have, I think. You're right.
Yeah.
I feel like a shade into that walkdown would have been really powerful. But Trap's going to get out of here. So he'll end up saving his units. Oh, my God. Beautiful move there.
He's such a good player. I mean, this is... The way he's intuiting this whole process is so excellent. Now he's continuing to pursue the small number of Stalkers that are up here. And Glaives is on the way. Classic is hoping that the game is going to be a pendulum swing into a victory where his counterattack ends up winning. He went for economy, didn't work out, Trap denied it. Classic then goes to his plan B, which is to have an extremely strong timing attack that will then kill Trap.
Yeah. Well, I feel like right now Trap just needs to make a bunch of shield batteries, and that should do it. But
yeah, he needs to just sandbag the attack.
Yeah. And
drag the game out, and then he's ahead. But let's see how this attack actually goes. I mean, Classic is about to activate here on the map.
He has to make this work. Yeah. There's no question. Like,
it's going to end one way or the other very quickly.
You got to make this work, otherwise the probes are going to start getting out of control.
Okay, another warp in here. The second Immortal is merging with the army. We should see a shade here. Glaives just now finishes.
All right, 3 Immortals right now for Trap. Looking good at the moment, but I mean, 14 Adepts, Glaives, it's no laughing matter.
Keep in mind, there's barely any probes mining from that other base. He's hardly even used this fresh expansion. It looks like then Trap decides to go for it.
Okay, he's going to shade on top of everything, it looks like. All right, let's see what he can end up powering down here.
And he's going to be able to get one of those Immortals here. There's still so many Adepts here. Good targeting. It looks like the Phoenixes will take out the Warp Prism.
Yeah, such an important moment right there. Doesn't quite get that Immortal, unfortunately, for him. Actually going to shade up. Maybe there's going to be some play here if he gets a bunch of probes.
Yeah, that's actually another way he could actually pull this game.
Yeah, because he's even making that proxy pylon. He wants to keep this aggression up. He does not have a Nexus at his natural.
Yeah.
So things have to happen here.
It's 25 workers to 21 Trap, lower in workers, but of course with 2 Nexuses, he can replenish that pretty easily. Again, no Immortals right now. It's just these base tier 1 units. I guess Classic's going to try and expand down here, but I feel like Classic's opportunities have almost completely dried up.
Yeah. He is rubbing 2 nickels together to make a quarter right now, and it's not going to work. Very, very tough situation. He's still just kind of shading around, microing where he can. It's like, do you make units? Do you save for a Nexus? There's no right answer, only wrong answers.
And so this game, unlike some of our other games, it was very decisive early on. Trap's technique worked out. He took the lead. Classics tried to do something incredibly decisive to push his way back into a victory. It failed, and from here it's Classic in an incredible deficit, and Trap should just win this game.
Especially since he has like Phoenixes going. I was just thinking to myself while you were talking, what he could maybe do to come back, and sometimes you can go like Disruptors or something, but against Phoenixes, absolutely not.
Yeah.
So
good point.
I just don't know what could possibly get him the comeback here. Look at this supply differential and everything. I guess the worker count isn't so out of control.
Look at this, just murdering these sentries.
Good micro though by Classic, I gotta say.
Yeah. Well, there goes all that gas invested.
It's very important that he killed those two, because it seems like that was his attempt at a get out of jail free card, is a bunch of force fields and just tearing apart the army that way.
Got to commend Classic here for not giving up. He's really putting up a good fight.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to get one of those crazy base trade wins, though, like we saw from Trap. Might be time for a Dark Shrine when you're this far behind.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I don't know if that's going to work. Well, Trap now almost doubling supply of Classic here. He's probably going to go back and try to get his own attack off now. And this should be a killing blow.
There's no way.
By the way, this is what most of our PvPs have looked like this season.
Yeah, no, this one is... Okay, that is super duper over.
Yeah.
My God, that's a lot of units. Okay. Trap fighting back. How many more wins does he need?
All of them. All of them. But hey, this is step one.
Yeah.
It could be the start of a crazy comeback here in the GSL.
Every journey starts with a small step.
That's true.
Or a big step or whatever, you know, just a step in general.
So, Classic takes that last game. That means Trap takes that last game. Classic with 3 wins, Trap with 2. So the question now is, can Trap do it again?
Well, if he wins this next one, suddenly it's anyone's tournament.
That's very true. Trap with a superior build order. Not much Classic can do to try to survive that attack.
That was a bit, as far as build orders go so far this series, there haven't been like really sharp differences. This game there really was.
Yeah, I mean, some of Starcraft happens before the game even starts.
Yeah.
The type of opening Classic was looking to go for. Trap was something that was engineered to actually punish any player who was trying to play kind of a standard.
Yeah.
I'm going to get an expansion.
It's a very good build that he did.
But he's going to have to do it again. And there's so many different avenues that Classic can bring this into. There's so many different builds in PvP. We're going to Kairos Junction. If Classic wins here, it's over, and he moves on to the finals. If Trap wins, he's managed to pull that comeback even closer, and we will go to game number 7 on Cyber Forest.
All right, here we go. Game 6, Kairos Junction. Trap has to win.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
I feel like Classic is just not much of a Twilight guy in this matchup.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Well, if you had to have a scale, he definitely still leans towards conservative.
Yeah.
In PvP.
Yeah, a little bit.
You know, the Robo is generally, and basically any iteration of StarCraft is generally considered conservative, especially Robo and expanding.
Yeah, I do
Right.
the most conservative Immortal all-ins all the time.
You absolutely
They're
can,
the safest all-ins you've ever seen.
you can do all-ins with Robo, but Classic doesn't seem to want to do that very often. He seems to really want to have a second base operating and try to have cut as many corners in that process that he's basically ahead.
I feel like I've been watching him Steven Seagal trap all night, where Trap
breaks
runs
his
at
neck.
him and then he flips him over and breaks his neck in one smooth move that's been sped up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Have you seen this video of Steven Seagal being interviewed by UFC?
No.
I guess he's taking all this credit for. I don't know. You've got.
What, did he create UFC?
No, he's taking credit for when somebody wins a fight. He's like, I knew that was gonna. You got to
I'd love to
YouTube it.
see
It's
that.
actually hilarious. It's also Steven Seagal takes himself so seriously. I'm like, oh god.
Well, he should. I mean, he's one of the original action heroes, Stasis.
He is.
Jeez.
Wasn't Dan in Street Fighter? Wasn't he modeled after Steven Seagal?
Oh my God, that
Did
would
you
make
notice that?
perfect
Yeah.
sense.
No,
yeah.
I think he was
Yeah, he might be.
because
I thought he was modeled after me with how weak he was, but that makes more sense
Yeah.
because they don't know me.
Yeah. Okay, so Stargate and Robo here. Classic going for that Stargate, getting the Nexus down here.
Yeah. The placement on that Stargate is a lot better for Classic this game than in the previous. I love that Trap is just doing the same thing again, basically. It's this is a good build.
Yeah, it worked. Let's see if it happens again.
It's
If it's not broken, don't fix it.
to be honest, in my opinion, this is overall the best build in the matchup right now.
Yeah.
I think it's just so you have all these options. You have the 3-gate to start, so you just
Yeah.
have a lot of units, and then you also have a Robo. So what's going to kill you?
It answers a lot of questions or a lot of things that could be thrown at you in the matchup. It answers all that and gives you the opportunity to take control, to get tempo, and to initiate your strategy before they might be doing theirs.
Yeah. And Classic this game scouts it very quickly, sees what's going on. Again, better building placement this game for sure.
Yes.
Getting his shield batteries up. He's getting right into a Robo. He's making multiple Oracles. I think that's a good call. Flying there with 2 Oracles. So rare that you make an Oracle in your main base and they don't have a shield battery. How rare is that?
Quite rare.
Super rare.
Here comes that
It's
Oracle.
rarer than a live dinosaur, Tasteless.
Oh, only gets 1 kill there as the Oracle has to leave.
Yeah, the Prism coming up.
Ooh, is he going to see these Adepts coming here?
I like that. Warp in some Adepts on that side so you can actually go get a little bit of damage done.
Yeah. There's a very high chance Trap has no idea that's coming.
Yeah.
Shield batteries, healing shield batteries. This is what we wanted. This is what, I know that you guys were hoping for that when we came down here, and yes, we did get to have shield batteries protecting shield batteries. So
That's what I was hoping
this
for.
is the finest PvP you can ask for. That's about as Protoss as it gets.
Yeah. Okay, so good force field there by Trap, actually. Wow, look at that.
Just gonna get the kill on the Sentry.
Yeah. That's what you get when you heal your own shield battery for so long. No energy left on your other shield battery.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a cool move, but there
Okay.
are so many Stalkers here, nothing's going to happen.
Get Trap really getting to win on both fronts here.
Yeah, he's wrecking right now.
Oh my god. I cannot believe the Classic's gonna lose this. Okay, that is huge. He is still boxed in. He is not gonna get another Nexus anytime soon.
So,
Okay, no.
oh my
My-
God.
Heavens to Betsy. What? He's gonna get an assassinate on the Immortal?
Yeah, and
Are
not
we
just
just
that
gonna go
one, it's-
immediately to this
He
next
wins.
game? Yeah.
Holy crap!
Trap just did it. Oh, Classic looks pretty pissed right now.
Well, he has nothing to be pissed at but himself, to be honest.
Yeah, well, I
he
mean,
was
what is
playing
that War Prism doing there? You know?
A lot
my
of things
God.
have gone wrong for him in this game.
He gets the other War Prism.
Oh my God. Okay, well,
Tasteless.
this is so crazy how many, Trap is
Okay, you know what's so
killing.
I was looking at Classic during this, right when that skirmish finally ended. You saw him just throw his head back, and really frustrating moment there.
Yeah.
As he's saying, "Okay, I am so screwed now in this game."
No, it's the worst thing ever.
Classic was ahead 3-1. This game, it looks like it's going to conclude with a 3-3 here.
Yeah, like, how do you ever end up winning this game? Like, I like what Classic's doing. He's going directly into Disruptors. Again, that's a great way to try to come back. All you need is a Disruptor and a Dream and a couple lucky hits.
Yeah.
So maybe he can pick those up. If Trap had, like, Blink right now, the game would definitely be over, but he's just sitting there on 13 Stalkers, right? So there's this situation in which 2 Disruptor hits, you know, kill 4 Stalkers each, and suddenly we're much closer to even. There's a Stargate on the way. Going into... this is actually really cool that he's going Phoenixes with all these Stalkers after this aggression. I'm going to throw this out there because I think that this is, first off, a perfect tech choice when you have the edge like he has. Phoenix with the Stalkers, and it looks weird because the composition itself doesn't sound like it makes a lot of sense. Phoenix Stalker. This is actually something that Alpha Star was doing. I just want to put that out there. You gain a little advantage with Stalker aggression, you go into Phoenixes, and Phoenixes kind of counter every other thing that your opponent can do.
Yeah.
Because the Stalkers, you can kind of out-micro everything, and then you can lift up stuff or harass, you can do anything.
Kind of perfectly negates every other opportunity that they might be able to find.
Yes.
It's just like, no, we have it'll mute anything.
Yeah.
That's remaining here.
Just Stalkers in that will, like...
The math is no longer fuzzy with that.
Look at that prison. That's the worst prison ever. I can't imagine if I was just stuck and there were 4 frozen Tasises around me. And that's why I was stuck. I just couldn't get out. They were all too close.
Well, now he's going to get the kill on this, too. Get that Disruptor shot ready.
Ooh, nice split.
Yeah.
Well done, though. Good lift, too, to save that sentry.
Well, this game is... Oh, go ahead.
He went into the Phoenixes, but didn't really do much with them. He's just kind of sitting them around. And the thing is, they will counter the Disruptors reasonably well. I feel like there was potential for a move out in here. Didn't end up doing, but that's fine. I just think it's really cool to see him go into the Phoenixes with the Stalkers. Just like, no blink. No, doesn't matter. These Phoenixes will disable all the things that beat Stalkers. I love it. This is such a cool play.
Well, Trap has that lead. He's getting that third base. He's just staying ahead. He's winning that race. It's very interesting to see how Classic plays when he's behind here. And, you know, we've already talked about it earlier, but I think the Disruptor play is actually the answer.
It's got the most potential, for sure.
Yeah.
You're just going to fight him with less Archons, Immortals, and Charge Lots? Well, that doesn't sound smart.
A Disruptor in PvP, out of all the other units you have, that's the unit that can actually swing a fight way harder than anything else.
Yeah. A couple Disruptor hits, like, you're going to be taking down Immortals, Archons, groups of anything. I love it. And the bigger the armies get, the more powerful the Disruptors become. When it's smaller armies, you can kind of split everything and, you know, micro more intensively. But when you have these gigantic balls walking around, these other gigantic balls just go in and kill them.
Also, if you look at a lot of PvP fights, most of the time, if there aren't Disruptors involved, a lot of it just comes down to the angling.
Yeah, and the numbers.
Did the Archons and the Zealots get a better arc around the other, you know, Zealots and Archons?
Yeah, and he also has one more Immortal.
That's right, and here's an Immortal and a Warp Prism being juggled, but the Disruptor, you know, 3 or 4 good pot shots on an army, and suddenly you snowball the game into a win.
It's like, the Disruptor makes it so math doesn't really count as much anymore.
Yeah, well, it comes down a lot more to finesse then.
Yeah. Or vines, as we used to call it in earlier seasons of GSL. You remember that? This guy with the ID vines in all caps. It's like, no, it's finesse. No, it's not. That's the word vines. Sorry.
Bleak is about to finish here for Classic, and his third Nexus is a little bit later.
Yeah, man,
but he's doing a good job playing from behind.
This is super cool. Now, I am loving what we're seeing.
If Classic wins this game, though, it is the scariest thing ever. Because Trap is so good at getting a lead. And I feel like if Classic can prove that with a nearly 30 supply deficit and forced into a completely different tech, if he can pull this off, color me impressed.
Well, it looks like such an old game. If you had shown me this replay, like, like 2 years ago, I'd have told you that right now what I'm watching is a Chinese player in the red against a strong Korean player in the blue.
Yeah.
Like, really,
Yeah.
the Chinese players are the first ones that were showing off, like, this type of comp against Blink Disruptor. But the fact that all these Phoenixes are here, what the hell is that all about?
I think it was
Classic?
deer playing, too. Looks like Trap might try to come in here for a fight. We got to watch those Disruptor shots.
Look how many Phoenixes Classic has. He has real potential here. Oh, get
Ships
wrecked,
the
Archon!
Okay, here comes another shot. Oh!
Oh, my God.
It's happening.
Well,
one Disruptor is targeted down. I can't see the other Disruptors. Looks like these shots are coming
Oh,
up.
my God. The Disruptor hits are big.
Is he going to pull this off?
I don't know. He has so many Phoenixes left over. I think he is.
I can't believe this.
What a
Is he actually
weird
going to hold this
comp.
off? Well, hold on. With this many more Zealots coming in here, it might not matter what's in the air because everything on the ground is going to be dead.
I mean, it's a lot, but how much Phoenix energy do we have? Oh, well, we're losing a lot of probes, but we're killing a lot of Zealots, too.
10 probes gone.
I'm actually a little bit surprised he's warping in the Stalkers here. I feel like he just needs a little bit of buffness here. You know what I mean? But I guess he'll need those against Archons, right? Archons are like the true counter to Phoenix. Okay,
Yeah,
if he
he's
can
gonna
kill
try to
all
get
these,
some pickoffs here on these Stalkers before the Archons can finish.
he's got to target Archons with his Stalkers.
Nice snipe on the Templar.
Oh my
Gonna go
God,
for the
oh my
War
God.
Prism. He gets the War Prism. He does.
Huge kill.
But does Trap already have too much?
He's on 3 bases, so probably small chance here. If he can just pick off these Archons, he can kill everything else with the Phoenixes.
Yeah. Again, just like we saw in one of the other games that Trap wins, Stalkers can out-micro Archons. Look at this.
Yeah. Oh, try to save those.
Those are the same.
Wow.
Those are the same Stalkers that won that base trade earlier. The same 5 Artosis.
They're getting the children of the other Archons. They came back for revenge.
That's right. I can't believe he held that. So crazy.
That was so weird. The mass Phoenix part is like throwing me off a little bit, but it killed the other Phoenixes so hard because he had more Phoenixes. It the true counter to what he was doing actually would have been mass Phoenix.
Yeah, well, what's funny about it is that the Phoenixes are great for cleaning up, right? So you take out the remaining Stalkers with your Phoenixes, and then you have your own Stalkers to fight their Archons, which is the only thing that Phoenixes can't really directly address.
Yeah.
And then, once you've won that fight, you have the opportunity to go across the map and kill off as many of their workers as you possibly can, which you just did. Here come those Disruptor shots.
Ooh.
Good pickups.
Oh, yes, indeed. Really, really well done right there. Well, he comes in and kills that Prism, so... Oh, a good hit there. Gets a lot of the Zealots.
Okay, another pickup here.
And the Archons trying to reduce the Phoenix count a bit. Yeah, I think that hit 2 of them.
Yeah,
no,
it did.
Did it? Okay.
And he's going to keep coming forward now. He's going to have to get a recall over here. How many Phoenixes are left over? Where do they go?
I think like 6, I want to say.
He could go counterattack. He's going to send the Phoenixes back across the map.
Yeah, I think
in fact, that's what he's going to do.
But this is just Archon charge lot forever now for Trap, right? There's like nothing else you can get into unless he somehow got into Blink Stalkers. I feel like that's the only unit that would be better here.
It looks like he's trying to steer the game that way.
Oh, there's only 3 Phoenixes left. Okay. So he actually reduced that number quite a bit.
I think we're just now having...
Oh, yeah. No, he is getting Blink. You're right. Oh, that's brilliant,
Yeah.
I think. Because that's the one thing where you're like, well, I have a bigger economy, so guess who has more Blink?
Yeah, he's going to come forward here. Good snipe on this Immortal.
Oh, that was the double shot, not paying off.
Snipes that Archon. Backing up now. Oh!
Good hit.
He's got to be careful. The way the AI operates, a lot of times clumping is your worst enemy.
Yeah.
Simply being active and moving organically causes your army to clump up.
Yeah.
And so a very mobile classic on the map might end up really exploiting that fact here against Trap, and then a few good Disruptor shots and the game is turned on its head.
Well, as he gets into his own Stalkers for composition, I feel like that's where it gets really, really powerful as well. But I guess when you hit critical mass of Stalkers on both sides, the Disruptors start to wreck again.
Yeah.
Because, you can't use smaller groups that can dodge Disruptors super easily, because then the big group of Stalkers beats that.
Yeah.
Right? But in, very much lower numbers, if you have more Stalkers, that's going to be very helpful. Wow, what a wild game. This is a great one.
Yeah, this has been really exciting to watch. And by the way, Trap had a huge lead early on here, and this is classic. Just getting so much out of the little that he had early on.
Yeah.
He's actually brought this to a game where they're basically even on 3 bases. Supplies are virtually the same. It's Trap with slightly more workers, but army sizes are the same. And, with disruptors, 1 or 2 good connects there, and suddenly you are way ahead.
Yeah. Both of them getting back into Phoenixes right now. +1 is going to be finishing pretty soon here for Trap at 17 minutes and 20 seconds or so.
We do have Trap actually taking 4th base here, right down there.
Might be time for Classic to start thinking about something similar.
Now, we're at the point in time where you don't want more disruptors, right? I mean, there's definitely a limit on how many disruptors you can control.
Ah, it's a good question.
Right? I mean,
Well, you can keep making them. Like, you can have an absurd amount of disruptors as long as you have, like, a pretty big army so that you can't just have stupid stuff like one charge shot comes and you have to use a disruption shot against it, right? Like, you need other units there as well. Classic's actually getting glaives. What's that? Why are you getting glaives?
Huh. Yeah, look at that. I guess you get a few good disruptor shots off. It seems like it's so late, though, for glaives. Like, what? But
yeah, they're generally not that good late game.
It's one of the upgrades. It's probably the least good once you're in, like, Archon, Zealot, Immortal.
I think Adepts late game in general are very questionable for anything.
He might be trying to fan out Adepts and try to do some harass here and there to pull some of the army away, and then he wants to come in with a really tight attack with his Disruptor army. I'm not sure. I certainly don't think Trap has this floating around in his head as a possible tech option that he might be up against.
It could be a harass-based thing as well, right? Like, warp him in far away and then just shade him in.
Yeah, sure.
It's
That's
like
possible. 4 bases is a lot to cover in PvP.
Yeah, it really is. Look at this.
Okay,
Back to
here we
those
go.
weird Phoenix Wars. It's so funny. They both went back into Mass Phoenix. One more for Trap this time, so that's good.
Here comes the
trying to split him.
Again, it's risky business being out on the map with a Warp Prism.
I feel like it's time for a Dark Shrine, by the way. And I'm kind of all over right now, but oh, look at this. Trap is actually just diving upon the board. Forces a cancel. Beautiful.
Okay, now Trap is going to try to continue to keep his lead here. Oops. Both these guys are playing so well. Gotta be careful of these angles.
Yeah, some pretty good hits right there.
The arc is definitely better here for Trap, but we need to see how those disruptor shots actually connect.
Good lifts overall in the disruptors, I would say. I think Trap might be able to take it right here. He's really reducing everything to rubble.
Yeah, I think he's going to be able to pulverize this entire army. GG, Trap does it! We're tied up 3-3!
How does this happen?
Hell yes!
How does it happen? Trap has tied it up. He's one game from going to the finals after... When it was 3-1 off of a bad cannon rush, man, did that feel like we were just going to have an anticlimactic day. But here we are. Classic. Something happened in there somewhere, Tasteless. He hasn't been playing as well in these later games, and Trap has been pulling it together. He's been hitting some good build orders, executing them well. And now we go down to Cyber Forest, our last map.
This is so exciting. Now, keep in mind, Classic, he's the older player. He's supposed to do his compulsory military service here in South Korea very soon. And Trap, I mean, he's come to new heights here. It would be insane to have him in the finals, but both these guys, with so much on the line, it's going to be cool no matter who moves on, but this might be, one of the last moments we see Classic actually get this far.
I almost feel like right now, Jin Air Green Wings is a storyline boss. You ever play one of those games where like there's someone that you should beat in the game, but it's a storyline boss where like you must lose so that your character can be set back or something?
Oh yeah, sure.
And you can't beat him
like
no matter what.
Like in those RPGs where you're like, this is just not. Do I have the wrong weapons?
Yeah,
and you die,
and they're wrecking you using all your potions, and then they're just like.
And as long as you didn't rage
on.
quit or restart, then you see that sequence where you've been captured now.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going on right now, where Jin Air's like, they hit a button. It's like we're in the finals again.
Yeah,
because I mean, the difference between the first games and these last games, the thing is, I still feel like Classic is playing, like, he screwed up that one game, right? But overall, he's playing very well. Like this last game, for instance, in the beginning, he fumbled a bunch of little pieces. Like he was doing strategically some good stuff when he got caught with that build order. I don't know though. He played beautifully later on when he was so far behind to make it that close.
I wonder what Trap will try to do in this game, because he's definitely followed a pretty consistent pattern since the comeback.
Robo 3 game, man.
Yeah, and so, I mean, do you do that again, or do you want to try something crazy? I do feel like if he doesn't do the Robo 3 gate or something crazy, I think in a standard game, I think Classic wins. I think Classic is just bigger, faster, stronger.
I think a lot of it will come down to the openers and how well they execute everything. What are they choosing?
That's for sure PvP in general, but I think if it's close, the closer it is to standard, the more likely I think Classic is to take it. If it is in a very unorthodox game, then I just don't know. Trap has won 2 games just recently with the same theme. Will he do it again here on Cyber Force? We're going to find out. This will be the last match of the night. After this, we crown a winner here, and someone will move on, either Classic or Trap, to the finals of the GSL Code S. And our game is now loaded up. Let's go. Classic vs. Trap, the last match.
게임이 시작됩니다.
Makers Classic. Jin Air Green Wings. Trap.
Okay. I think that there are 2 possibilities of what Classic's going to do this game. He took a little breather for after that last one, right? This is a small ramped expansion, right?
Yes.
So if you're going to attack, it's uphill. I think what we'll see from Classic here is either just the 2-gate expansion, the kind of safe one where you have like a sentry and you make stalkers and you just kind of scout out what they're doing and try to get your base up, or he's going to do a robo. Because I feel like those are the 2 where he should not screw up too much early on this map.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's, well, is he going to hide something here? Maybe I'm completely off, but I kind of agree with you that he's been outplaying overall.
Well, they're both proxying.
Oh, this is funny. He's going to actually scout traps. That's a big deal.
Okay. That's huge.
Oh, and he skirted around it.
Yeah, so he won't even know that's going to be there.
Yeah, he'll probably go double stalker and just go kill that.
Big catch there.
It really is.
Again, though, so much of PvP has had things hidden on the map, but, the better these players get at ferreting out those hidden locations, the weaker those hidden locations are going to become.
Yeah. Trap is actually kind of looking for any sort of proxy as well. We'll see if he puts anything down. Okay, he actually finds the pylon. It's kind of fine. They both found each other's pylon. Classic's going Stargate, but neither of them are proxying anything at it. Like, if Trap was making, like, a Stargate there right now, and these 2 stalkers are on the way,
yeah,
I'd be really feeling for him, because that could be game-ending. In this case, it's really not, right? He's likely to lose a pylon. Like, if Classic wants to commit to that right now, he will get it. But what more than that?
Here comes the robo. He, stopped it for a second. And there are Classic stalkers moving out. Going to get rid of this pylon. Actually, somewhat impactful this early on to lose a pylon.
Trap's making a frog face. He doesn't like it.
Yeah. He's not having a good time.
True frog face right now.
That's a feels bad, man. Frog face there for that pylon.
Ooh, I like that probe. I really like that probe.
Yeah, that's a very well-hidden probe. Adepts are coming forward. Will he commit? No, canceling the shade here. And it is Trap who's trying to squeeze in this additional Nexus. Classic's Nexus starting a little bit later here, and it is easily spotted there by Trap.
Yeah, he sees the exact time of that, so he knows that there's not any heavy aggression coming his way. Very helpful. Will he actually try to scout the main now? Yeah, it looks like he's going to. Classic blocks it, I believe, but you know what? he saw the Oracle coming out. And that's what's important.
That's right. It's a classic, basically having map control. It's Trap in a very defensive position.
Yeah, he's got this Oracle out, kind of checking out what's going on, and he's getting into his own Robo right now. So, in these positions, like, I think both of them have played very well, but I would give a slight edge right now to Classic.
Yeah, I like the direction he's brought this in a little bit better.
Yeah.
Now, there is a Warp Prism coming out, so Trap may try to start picking a fight here pretty soon. Got to be careful against Stargate Tech, because one Phoenix makes it impossible for a Warp Prism to operate independently on the map.
Yeah. And I think that that'll be an easy thing for Classic to get out right away. Scouts what's going on. But yeah, in this situation, it's kind of like you guys are doing the same thing, except one of you has 2 Oracles.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a big deal, even if they only scout. If they do nothing else but scout and throw down like a stasis ward, that's still really useful. Your opponent is much more in the dark than you.
We definitely want to watch and see if there's any good tagging here on that army. It looks like one, oh, it actually gets away. I really thought that was dead.
Oh, he might be able to pick off like a couple sentries here.
Okay, one does go down, not bad.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll lose a Stalker for that, for sure.
Yeah, the energy and one of them for a Stalker, totally.
Okay, now these 2 Adepts have come in here. Nicely done. There is a War Prism to boot. And there's really not very much to defend here. A Stalker will not kill Adepts or a War Prism quickly. And so, good usage of those Oracles there to come back and try to drive that away.
Yeah, forces him out of there. Classic does have a bit of a probe lead, but pretty close so far. All right, he's coming up with his Stalkers. He does have that Prism for the juggling. Very, very important stuff. Some Stasis Wards going to be going down. I guess just one. I think that's all the energy he has at the moment, but he does have an Immortal coming. No shield battery. That's a bit of a big deal.
Well, now Trap decides to back up a little bit more. Oracles are, by the way, there's a tag we wanted to watch for. That's the one thing, PvP is so much about preempting an attack and being ready for this, that being able to tag that War Prism is huge. And he may even send that Oracle down there later on and tag it once more.
Forge on the way for Classic. He's really recognized that this game is going to go on a lot longer. You may as well do that. Even cancel his shield battery as natural as he saw the army turning around. So he's very on top of the small little pieces of his build. Wow, nice harassment there with the Oracles as well.
We're in that situation. They're both powering on 2 bases. The Forge is generally a nod that we're going to go for a longer game here. You need to start investing in upgrades. Nobody seems to have any kind of opportune timing attack that can really end this game.
It's really nothing. I'm surprised he hasn't started his +1 there, though.
There it is.
All right, about time. He still has his Oracles ready to go in. Again, even tagging here is really valuable, seeing where your opponent's army is at.
Oh, yeah.
Some cute moves here, but I mean, what are you really looking to get done? It's not like there's creep you're going to clear, right?
Right.
There's no pylons out on the map for him to snipe. Like, you're not likely to get that much done. Okay, the Immortal drop coming out, though, that has some real potential.
Oh, actually, getting this Observer is really nice.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
Another little victory there for Trap.
Scouted, throwing down his ward. Of course, Trap does not have a Stargate, so yeah, without that, without Blink, dealing with this Warp Prism harassment, it's going to be a little bit harder for him.
Big gateway explosion here for both of these guys. There's 2 Temple Archives being made over here for Trap. One just finished, but there is a second one making. I think he just canceled it.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Actually, pretty big deal if you... We'll see this with pros, where occasionally they'll make 2 of the same structure, especially under duress.
Yeah. Well, there is no more duress than this, really. We're Game 7 of the semis, right? Looking for this victory.
Okay, there's
finals.
Not quite enough to help defend this. Hold on. Going for that Warp Prism. Excellent defense there by Trap.
Yeah.
And I think Classic respectfully leaving that. He does not want to overextend. To lose this game over a Warp Prism would be... That's just a bad way to go.
Yeah.
It's bad enough to lose like that on a ladder game, but when it's like the GSL Finals game and it's a whoopsies, yeah, definitely avoid that.
So the third Nexus coming up for Trap right now. Taking a little pocket base as opposed to the high ground where he laid the Stasis Ward. We'll see if Trap, or rather Classic, wants to do that as well. Both of them powering. Yeah, he starts +2, so that really points towards the third Nexus. Again, you know, this has to do with the shape of the map. This little ramp, you can't really attack up there with similar armies, right? We were talking about that a lot in King's Cove, where it's just almost impossible to break.
Yeah.
I love that people are starting to catch prisms with Archons and prisms.
Yeah.
Because Immortals are the scariest thing in a prism, unless you're fighting another prism.
Yeah. It's interesting to even see Archons and prisms used as a defensive measure. I mean, it makes sense when you just see the way that the units interact with each other, but, you know, we're so used to seeing them, Archons specifically, I think with drops, I think a lot of people think of PvZ, you know, but just coming in and doing harass like that. But yeah, I mean, it can totally be used in this way as well.
Some of this, at this point, I'm like, I guess you can do it. Not really finding very much, taking some Archon shields here and there.
So the powering has begun. Upgrades coming down. Continuous Immortal tech here from Trap.
Okay. That's some pretty reasonable.
Yeah, this is not going to kill that, though, right?
No.
There's going to be something here to drive this away.
That
Good
would
pickups.
be so possible. Classic's going to have his +2 sooner. He's slightly up in supply. I'd love to see the actual mortal counts right now, because that, in situations like this, becomes so important. Where are you engaging and what's the immortal count?
Nothing mining here at the third just yet.
Yeah,
Still waiting for some probes to get transferred there. Workers are staying very low here.
Yeah.
You know, this is sort of the player who gets a little bit greedy here may end up getting overwhelmed.
You almost never get a fully mining third base.
Yeah.
It's like you start running out of mineral patches and you send probes, and that's how it works.
Yeah, it's almost like that third base is a placeholder.
Yes.
Like it's been claimed.
Yeah, it's good to make it because it puts pressure on your opponent.
Yeah.
Like, hey, attack me. It's like, no, you didn't make probes. I'm not going to.
Here comes that War Prism now. Oh, hold on.
Oh my God.
Trap looking for a fight here. Classic on the high ground, though.
Surprise, he's trying to attack
Archon
up here.
connects really good on those Zealots there.
Ooh.
But Trap, I don't think he can go any further. There's no way he's going to be able to push up that. Meanwhile, I think there's a harass going on in Trap's main.
Yeah, he has that Archon drop,
Yep, there it is.
rather the Immortal drop out there still. Maybe that's why he felt like he could engage, missing two Immortals out of your army, but if you have that high ground concave, that makes a bigger difference than just two Immortals.
Recall back over here.
Realizes just how aggressive Trap is being right now.
Map control going to Trap here, but Classic may decide to roam out on the map here in a little bit.
This is really neck and neck right now.
You want to definitely count recalls here as well. That's another little positional play.
Yeah.
Who has to recall first, and then
Sure.
You know, are they going to be able? Are they going to get out positioned here in the long run?
Okay, did you see that? He was just chrono boosting probes. He's making 3 probes at a time.
Yeah.
So Trap right now is trying to get ahead economically. It's been very close, very tight. Right now we have 8 more Zealots here.
Yeah, we had a static economy for a little while, but he's going to try to come out here. Very difficult angle for our blue Protoss to try to come down there. Classic still fishing for an answer here. Is he going to just commit? Oh, he's got to be careful. Good pickups there, getting that Archon. Again, a lot of times, you know, as the dust begins to settle in the fight, you really just want to count how many Archons and Immortals are remaining.
Yeah.
The Zealots are basically, it's like a meat shield. They're there to just get in the way.
Watch these prisms. This is a big part. Oh my God. Classic just trapped him. Look at that. He went in there like he had Immortals. No, it was Archons.
Yeah, and he actually wanted to
What a
try to get
tricky
the
move.
other Warp Prism there. Another Warp in. He's beginning to make an arc. He's going to tear
God.
down the rocks over here. And this could be almost a full surround here on this army if this attack is executed correctly.
God. Oh my God. Is he actually going to try to attack down into this?
Hold on.
I don't know.
He's rearranging. He's going to go to the natural. It was a bluff.
Oh my God. Look at this move from Classic. He's getting up into the natural. Now, he doesn't have as big of an army as that army that's coming up to meet him.
This is such perfect control here. Now, the Zealots are trying to get up here to help with this fight. A hallucinated Colossus there.
Oh my god, I don't know if the ramp is good enough in this situation. I feel like Trap has actually split his army much better than Classic. Classic has taken the initiative here, but is that going to be enough? He's trying to hold the ramp.
I think with some of these Zealots coming in here from behind and a great recall, that's going to force Classic to try to recall back home as well. Can the counterattack then from Trap actually smash this expansion?
Oh my god.
I think that's a very real possibility.
Yeah.
However, Classic still has these Zealots and Warp Prisms up here. This could be enough of a nuisance that it causes the army to go around, but I am looking at a naked third base here for Classic. Nothing there to help defend.
I think Trap is moments from his first GSL Code S finals right now. That was a very tactful move from Classic, but absolutely not paying off, losing huge chunks of his army. Great splitting by Trap, great defense.
Classic's got plans of his own. Classic wants to try to defend his second while destroying the economy over here at the third. Actually going for that Nexus there. The bottleneck is not going to be a safe maneuver to come up, and the Nexus goes down. So hold on a second.
It's a big move, but that's not really enough right now, right? The army size right now for Trap is vastly superior. He's got twice as many Immortals and twice as many Archons. And you're always telling me that that's what I need to look at.
That's what you got to look at, Artosis. So, both these players economically in shambles. We don't have a third base for Classic. Trap is missing the Nexus that is natural, but that's almost a diminished set of patches.
It's not as important.
So, it doesn't matter as much. And Trap has outgrown Classic, but, you know, tactics may be a bigger factor here than simply army supply numbers.
Yeah, well, it certainly was before because Classic had the bigger army, then made some poor tactics and lost it. So definitely is something that matters a hell of a lot, whether you do it well or you do it poorly.
Okay,
look at this. Classic right now is consistently threatening with his Prism. And if he did not have that Prism right now, I know people want to nerf the Prism.
Again.
If he didn't have this Prism, man.
Oh, no. Speak of the devil, he doesn't have that Prism anymore, Artosis.
God. Yeah, well, without that Prism, I feel like this game would have already been over. But now that he's lost it, what is your move? He's down 30 army supply. He has less Immortals. He has less Archons. He doesn't have a Nexus at fresh mineral patches. There's an Observer over his army. Trap knows he's got this.
Yeah. Trap is looking to come in here for a fight. Classic is patiently keeping a very good spread. And the question, though, is Trap just going to pull the trigger? I think he just has so much more, he might be able to just force this.
Oh, my God. That is going to be that. Classic is not going to go to another finals. Trap is going to break through here. Only Archons left juggling here from Classic. And it's all he has left to him.
And I think even with the best juggling in the world, it is not going to be enough. And Trap, keeping the dream alive, comes back after being down 1-3, winning 4-3 versus Classic. GG.
And our two favorites of the season are out. Maru falls early. Classic in the round of 4. Jin Air once again sending a player to the finals. Trap taking down Classic in a ridiculous comeback victory.
That was such an awesome Protoss versus Protoss. And it actually went to Game 7. That's just statistically rare, guys. We don't normally have that happen. It's just